moving forward is like solar wind case, which was very interesting case we worked on. It was a government funded attack. Okay, so you can guys can just keep a note of that, and later you can just have a look at the solar wind case. Okay, then there are certain organized crime activists, and also there are script kiddies. The script kiddies, that means, are the people who don't have much knowledge about cybersecurity, but they what they do is like they just download some tool. They just do click, click, click. Okay, they fit the website. The tool does all the stuff for them, and they somehow luckily get access to the server of the company, and they do whatever thing they want to do over there. So those are called script kiddies, which they don't have the exact knowledge what's happening underneath, but they just are dependent on the tool, and they just run the tool. And the thing is that it's much more dangerous than the guys who really know how to kind of attack a company, because that tool can do a lot of stuff, even which was not the intention of this that script kiddie guy. So for an example, that kid who is using the tool is just wanted to get access to the server, let's say, but the tool also did multiple other things on his or her behalf. Let's say they they kind of really make the server down. They push so much data to the server that the server was not able to handle and it crashed. Okay, so that was not the intention of the script kiddie, but the tool did that. Okay, so those guys are actually the most dangerous uh, guys whom we need to kind of also protect. So the government level attackers, the script kiddies, are some of the threats that kind of uh, we uh, we need to kind of worry about. Okay, and the other thing is like how we detect them. Okay, how we detect them. So there are different other ways to kind of detect them. One is definitely one centralized logging. Okay, so all the logs of the company organization comes to one place, and we what we do is that we set some kind of automated analysis of the logs, which kind of understand that log and kind of highlight the things which are a little bit suspicious, and it alert us to kind of investigate. So this is one of the way we kind of we do the thing. We do a centralized logging of the network data as well as the endpoint. An endpoint, I mean the laptop or the servers, let's say Windows operating system. Let's say server is running Windows operating system. So we get a log of the window logs, what process is running, what IP address it's communicating to, and what's not. Okay, and how it and we the next thing as a SOC we do is continuous monitoring. And continuous monitoring, I mean 24 into 7 into 365. Uh, there is no holiday for us because attacker doesn't take holiday. Okay, and let's say one of the example is definitely the what I mean to say. So this is something you should definitely look at, which is the Bangladesh Bank, and the other is the SolarWind. SolarWind. So this SolarWind is actually a company who actually manages the network devices, but uh, now it suffered a huge loss. So there was a very famous attack, I think, last year, uh, which is a SolarWind hack. Okay, so I will say like also have a kind of have a look at this SolarWind hack. Maybe I'll just quickly explain why I'm telling we need to do continuous monitoring. Is because this SolarWind hack actually happened somehow near to the Christmas holiday. So the people were all happy. They were all kind of going out to kind of enjoy their Christmas holidays all around the world. And it happened, I think, somehow around the starting of December. Okay, and somehow like it started long back, but it was detected somehow. What you say around the starting of December, and then by another company. I think it was CrowdStrike company which who was kind of uh, handling the cybersecurity of the SolarWind. They detected that they didn't told made it public because they were still investigating the case. But once they were almost done with their investigation, they actually made that attack publicly, and that attack came to public knowledge somewhere around, let's say, I think it was something around 22nd December or 21st December, and the secret team guys' holiday was all screwed up at that point of time. So what had normally happened, I'll just kind of give a quick introduction. So what happened is this solar wind actually, what they do is manages the network traffic, and what I believe is that they also manage the network traffic. They do some detection. They provide certain kind of network security actually. Okay, two different kind of company, and they had a vast list of client that they were kind of helping out, like a lot of U.S. governments, like National Security Agency of the U.S. and what the top level of the governments, they were kind of helping them out in kind of monitoring their network logs. A lot of different top 500 Fortune companies were also using the solar wind products in their organization. And what happened overall, the overview I will say is that there is supply chain attack on this company. So the software that this company make, that was running on those devices at the consumer end, at the client end, the code of that, the code of that, uh, whatever code is running, it was modified at some point of time by the attacker. Okay, so it was a really interesting attack to know. So let me see if I can kind of quickly give a quick introduction about the solar wind. Okay, so the solar wind attack, what happened is that let's say it has a team, it has a software development team which developed the software for for the solar wind guys. Okay, now what the attacker did was, attacker somehow got hold of one of the system, uh, of the software development team actually. Okay, once they had one of the access of the software development team, they're very stealth. They were knowing how to kind of uh, do the attack without coming in limelight, without getting detected. So they were very stealth in their way of work. They're very sophisticated. It is suspected that it was a well-funded organization. Okay, and what it did was, let's say there is one guy in that software development team, he or she is writing some Python code, and then he is converting that Python code to executable. Okay, and then that executable is going out into the solar wind product, which is utilized by the client. So what the attacker did was, like, they added certain extra amount of code. Okay, extra amount of code. Let's say there's a Python code that was normally written by one of the employee. Let's say it is 100 lines. So the attacker, they added two lines, their own two lines in that code. Okay, and that two lines of code was not detected by the SolarWind security team. The attacker was able to add just those 2 3 lines in that code. Okay, and the code was actually based out of Java, what I understand. Okay, and now thing is that the software development team was not able to detect that. Not the software development team, the security team was not able to detect that the attacker has got hold of one of the guy system in the software development team, and that attacker has successfully pasted 2 or 3 lines of the code in the actual official code of the company. And what happened? That code actually passed all the major all the major checks. Like, once you build the software from the code, there are most kind of like checks that is in the CI/CD pipeline, security review and all. It actually passed all those reviews. None of the team actually detected those 3 lines of code. And to be funny is that the attacker didn't pasted the actual code at once. They first did something like they just pasted a dummy line, let's say a comment in the code, hello, I am Anil, something like that. Okay, and what they did was that they didn't wrote made any changes. They just wrote a comment. Okay, and what they did was, like, they were only since they were only having one access to one of the system, they just wrote that comment, and they waited out. Okay, let's see when the Solar Wind will release their next software in the market. And once the SolarWind released the product to the market, let's say it name as SolarWind.xyz,